And I taped this image into my assignment book. And I would open up my assignment book to write something down and have darshan. And the tears would just start to stream down my face. So even in the days long before YouTube, long before anything, there were ways to stay connected. When that connection is real and deep, it's with you all the time. And you'll find back into the awareness, back into the remembrance. Because once you've seen the light, you know it. And you may get distracted, you may forget, but you just need something, a picture, a mantra, a reminder. I took back a cassette. Again, days before iPods and, whatnot. A cassette, and I played it in my car. And it was of the Gangarti. And I just would listen to it all the time. And the morning prayers. One side of each. And I just would listen to it all day long as I drove anywhere. So you'll find ways to keep remembering, and technology has made it so much easier. So don't worry about that. Yeah, wonderful. Other questions? Yes.
Namaste, ma'am. This is the first time I'm seeing you, and seems like I was meant to be here. The question I have for you is, how can I use sadhana or meditation or bhakti in a way that it can cure my pain from a past life? Thank you.
The pain from past lives manifests in this life as what we would call karmic fruit. If I'm suffering in this life, it's because there is fruit that has been ripened in this birth. That's how things from past lives come into this life. There's a curtain that falls as we leave the body at the end of each life and we take on a new body. But the actions of the past bear fruit. Some in this life, some in upcoming lives. So how do we use all of these aspects of spirituality to ease that? There's two different aspects of it. One is facing and dealing with that over which we have no control. And the other is moving forward into the future. So that which we have no control over, our spiritual practice, can actually help mitigate it. So for example, it may be that you, due to some past karma, are due to have an accident, let's say. Your sadhana, the grace of a guru, can actually transform that such that instead of, for example, a fatal car accident, it becomes you trip and you stub your toe. So it has to happen. One from the karmic bow. It's gonna go and land. You can't undo it. But our sadhana can soften the metaphoric blow. What it also really can do is change our ability to meet it. So for example, let's say that in a past life, you planted an apple seed. Now in this life, you have an apple tree. Problem is, you hate apples. You are allergic to apples. Every time you even get near an apple, you break out into hives. Now that feels like what you would call bad karma. I must have done something bad in a past life because in this life I've got this tree in my front yard, literal or metaphoric, that literally gives me a painful allergic reaction every time I get near it. Now what most of us do is we try to figure out how can I use my puja, my prayer, a mantra, to turn this apple tree into an orange tree. The problem is you cannot. You cannot rewind history and go back and plant an orange seed instead of an apple seed. But that also doesn't mean that you are doomed to being miserable forever. The puja, the prayers, the meditation, the bhakti, the gyan helps us do two things. Number one, it helps us stop being allergic to apples. So it's not going to change the tree itself. That is the fruit of the karma that I have done. But through my sadhana, I can overcome my allergy to apples so that I can start actually living with this apple tree in a way that isn't painful. And slowly, 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 in a way in which I'm actually able to start enjoying the juiciness of the apples. Whatever it is that we find in the literal and metaphoric front yard of our lives that feels like something that is giving us misery, rather than trying to figure out how do I change that, the question becomes, how do I change me so that I can live with that? So that I can even learn to learn from that, to enjoy that. And along the way, the benefit of my sadhana becomes that I start to attract school children who are happy to collect the apples from my tree. And in the smiles of the school children collecting apples, I still can't enjoy them yet. I'm actually able to start getting a sense of joy from this apple tree, from seeing the joy on the face of the children. Sadhana does. It's not going to rewind our past actions, but it's going to change how we interact with them in the moment. And through that gyan, through that bhakti, through that sadhana, we're going to learn how to plant orange trees for the future. We will be gifted, you could say, with orange seeds and the wisdom of knowing how to plant them so that in the future we can have orange trees. So it gives us all of that. Wonderful. Yes. should we spend minimum in sadhana to get the benefits? I have a question that I will frequently use as an example of the dilemma we face in our common question is, what's the bare minimum I have to do? Now, don't feel badly. This is everyone's question. I want to be able to give myself the spiritual stamp of approval. I want to be able to check spiritual practice done off my daily list. Right? Did my exercises, drank my green smoothie, check, right? Called mom, check. But your sadhana is not something that's just a piece of work to be done. It's actually something that should flow into every aspect of your life. So instead, I'm going to just help you reframe the question. Instead of saying, what's the bare minimum I need to do? The question, what is the best way for me to divide my meditation practice from the meditation that I spend sitting on my eyes closed and my hands in dhyan mudra or whatever position I sit in, and my eyes open, standing up off the cushion meditation practice? What is the right balance for me between the on the mat and off the mat, on the cushion, off the cushion? Because our meditation isn't only what we do when we are like this. That's the point. This one charges our battery. It